Episode 2, The First Task. What is it about this building that makes me feel like I'm in a classic con movie? Everything feels staged. The dust is too even, like someone measured it. One light flickers. Just one, like it was wired to. The hallway smells faintly like lemon cleaner, and something underneath. Bleach, maybe, or copper. The carpet is half unraveled, but only near the edges, like someone aged it on purpose. Mailboxes have names, but none I've ever seen on a buzzer. Every door is closed, except one, third floor, left side. The plaque's letter has been scratched out. Not worn, not peeled, scratched, deliberate. A chime sounds downstairs. The front door. Someone entering or leaving? I pause. No apartment doors open. No footsteps on the stairs. Just silence. Maybe nothing. Maybe I'm alone after all. But now I'm listening harder than before. As I raise my hand, the door opens before I touch it. A gloved hand snaps out, takes the envelope, and vanishes. No face, no voice, only the sharp click of the lock sliding home, like a director calling cut. I don't move right away. My ears are ringing from the silence, and then I smell it again. The copper, stronger now. My fingertips tingle where the envelope used to be. I turn to go, each step quieter than the last, like someone might be listening. This was supposed to be a job. Now it feels like a trap. The wrong rooftop. It was the wrong kind of rooftop, the expensive kind. A hedge fund had sponsored the drinks, a VC had flown in from Berlin, and some guy in a branded fleece was holding court about burn rate discipline. I stood near the edge, half a plastic cup of flat Prosecco warming in my hand. I'd worn the best shirt I owned, but it still didn't tuck right. They were all talking about the numbers, runway, cap tables, convertible notes, words I recognized, but they still hit my ears like static. Money had never been my thing. I was the product guy, the one who knew why it mattered, not how it scaled. Still, when this round-faced guy with too much hair gel turned to me and asked, "So what's your cost per user if you scale to 75,000 MAUs? I blinked. I think that depends on the actual MAUs? A pause. Then laughter. Not cruel. Just amused. Like I'd mispronounced a fancy wine. Someone clapped me on the back. "You're the tech guy, yeah? Backend." I nodded quickly, even though it wasn't true. Not exactly. I'd done the design thinking, the market mapping. I'd believed in the idea, but now they wanted numbers, code, burn rate, and I felt like a kid who walked into the wrong exam. Still, I smiled, I nodded. I laughed when they laughed. I just wanted to belong. The van. The door latch shut behind me, clean and final. I took the stairs down two at a time, back into the gray light and noise of the street, and there it was. Same van, 2 houses down, parked at a slight angle, no logo, no stickers, not even a parking permit, just blank white steel and a windshield too dark to see through. I'd clocked it on the way in, but it hadn't registered. Not really. Now it was humming. The engine was running. I slowed. Delivery vans in Bushwick don't idle. Too much theft risk. Too many Karens just waiting to yell, "Think of the planet," at someone with a running engine. And they never run solo, not without a driver behind the wheel and a second hopping stoops with boxes. This one had neither, and hadn't moved in over 10 minutes, and no one was in the cab. I glanced once, casual, caught a glint, a lens, a mount. It vanished in the glare. I kept walking, didn't run, didn't look back, but the hum followed me down the block, coiling under my skin. The mass cracks. Theo didn't knock. He never did anymore. Martin sat alone in the hum of the server room, one leg crossed over the other, eyes on nothing. The glow from the monitors painted him in a pale wash of blue. He looked less like a man and more like a negative image of one. "You've changed," Theo said. Martin didn't move. "Not really." "You're wearing it like a coat, that tone, that scowl. It's not you." Martin let the silence hold. Then, "He needs pressure. He needs time." Martin's eyes shifted toward the hallway, the door Ethan had passed through minutes earlier. Time is the one thing we've never had. Theo crossed his arms. "And being cruel to him? That part of the plan too?" Martin exhaled slowly, almost a sigh. If he folds under words, he'll never survive the work. "The work," Theo said. "That's what we're calling it now?" Martin turned, finally meeting Theo's eyes. "He's smart, not fast, but smart, and curious. That's the most dangerous kind of recruit." "Dangerous for who?" Martin didn't answer. He walked to the shelves, poured himself a drink. No offer for Theo. "You told him to watch for anything out of place," Theo said. Was that part of the drop? Martin's mouth twitched, just short of a smile. "Paranoia is a very useful tool." "So you are trying to make him paranoid?" "I'm trying to make him aware." He swirled the drink. "We don't recruit soldiers," Martin said. "We recruit chameleons, people who can blend into any room and act like they belong there. No questions, no panic, just stillness, until it's time to move." He tapped the side of his glass. The job isn't about strength, it's about control, observation, adaptation. Can you read a room while you're pretending to be part of it? Can you stay calm when nothing makes sense? He looked back at the hallway, the way Ethan had gone. That's what I needed to know. Theo watched Martin over the rim of his glass. You're not just testing him, you're watching him. Martin didn't respond, just stared into his drink like he was waiting for something to rise from the bottom. Theo let the silence stretch. Is this another one of your redemption projects? Still nothing. Then, you think Eleanor Bishop is watching again, don't you? Martin's eyes flicked up. No denial, just a faint smile pulling at the corner of his mouth. Ellie never really stopped. Theo's jaw tightened. She's gotten close before. Martin nodded slowly. Too close. Once. Theo raised an eyebrow. Union Street? Martin's grin turned boyish. She thought she had me, had the whole building staked out, knew the floor, the window, even the number on the door. What she didn't know, Theo said, picking up the thread, was that you'd switched the numbers 2 nights before. She rated 4B, Martin said, savoring the memory. Found a pair of newlyweds eating takeout on the floor, and a very offended cat named Chairman Meow. They both chuckled, the tension thinning just enough to feel like the past was still a place they could visit. She slammed the door so hard, Martin added. The hallway light went out. Theo smirked. And you? Martin took a slow sip. Martin's smile widened, just enough to feel dangerous. She told me to go back inside. Theo blinked. What? She was standing right there, 2 uniforms flanking her, whole hallway sealed. She looked me dead in the eye and barked, Sir, return to your apartment and do not interfere with an active police investigation. You're joking. I was holding a trash bag, Martin said. Wearing sweatpants. I thought for sure it was over. I had the server stashed in a suitcase at my feet, but no one knew what I looked like back then. No photo, no file, just a name and a signature. Theo exhaled, half laughing. She thought I lived there, Martin continued. I played it up, muttered something about rent going up, asked if they needed water, told her I'd seen a guy run out 20 minutes before, gave her a full witness statement. You gave her a statement? Described a suspect in perfect detail, Martin said. Tweed coat, scuffed shoes, scar on the left cheek. Theo paused. John Henry? Martin grinned. It was enough to send him running to Chicago. Didn't show his face in New York for 3 years. Unbelievable. She was furious. Knew someone had played her, but couldn't prove it, and that's when it started, really. The chase? Martin nodded, eyes distant now. Every job after that, she got a little closer, little smarter, moved faster, predicted more. She learned me like a language. And you liked it. Martin took a long sip of his drink. It made it feel like sport, like it mattered whether I pulled it off. About 5 minutes after they left, I walked out with the server under my coat. The quiet returned, but this time it felt earned, filled with something unspoken. Respect, rivalry, regret. Theo broke it. If she is watching, this time, she won't wait long. Martin looked at the monitor, the paused image of Ethan still frozen on screen. I hope not, he said. Wouldn't be a game without her. Let's see if he learns to play. They looked up as the door started to open. Just a sliver, just enough. The debrief. Ethan stood in the doorway, still, quiet. The tension hadn't left his shoulders yet. It hovered there, unsure if it was still needed. Martin didn't speak, didn't move, just looked at him. Not with suspicion, not with warmth, something in between. Theo, off to the side, rolled his eyes so subtly it almost didn't register. Like a teacher watching 2 students pretend not to care. Martin tapped the monitor once. It shut off. The hum of the room returned. Sit. Ethan did. Across the table, Theo sipped something dark. No nod, no greeting. Martin finally spoke. Tell me what you saw. I made the drop. That wasn't the question. Ethan hesitated. 3rd floor, no unit number, door opened before I touched it. Gloved hand, no face. Took the envelope, closed the door. Martin said nothing. And there was a van, Ethan added. 30 seconds, he thought, not even. Couldn't sit with silence for half a minute before he had to fill it with something. Anything. Martin's brow didn't move, but inside... Wait, did he say a van? That got a shift, a lean, just slight. Unmarked, Ethan said. Parked 2 houses down, engine running, no one in the cab. I saw it on the way in, but it didn't click until I was leaving. Martin didn't blink. What about it drew your attention? He asked, voice even. Ethan paused. It was idling, in Bushwick. No logo, no boxes, no one in the cab. Still nothing from Martin. Ethan continued. And vans like that don't idle in this neighborhood unless someone's stealing them or watching something. Martin's thoughts clicked quietly behind the mask. That's good. Most people ignore a parked van unless it has a fake plumber's decal on the side, like we live in a Hollywood movie where that's the only surveillance vehicle law enforcement is authorized to use. What else? There might have been a camera, or a mount, could have been reflection. Martin nodded just once, then stood. He crossed the room to a cabinet and returned with a leather-bound folder, dropped it in front of Ethan. Inside, photos, notes, maps, a name, Volkov. A face stared up at him. Sharp eyes, shaved head, thin lips caught mid-smile like he knew a secret you didn't. Martin didn't sit back down, just said, "You passed, barely." Ethan looked up. "Because I noticed the van?" "No." A pause. Then, "Because you noticed what didn't fit, and walked toward it anyway." That was the compliment. No grin, no pat on the back, just a fact, spoken with rare approval. The file stayed open. One clipped article read, "Russian cyber intrusion, suspected in multi-million-dollar crypto theft. FBI declines to comment." The moment hung, measured, incomplete. Then Theo raised his cup. "He likes you," he said dryly. "I think." Inside the van. The hum of static. Ellie Bishop leaned forward in her seat, elbows on knees, eyes locked on the split-screen display across the van's monitors. One screen showed the hallway from earlier, another showed Ethan turning the corner, another showed nothing but shadows. Torres stood behind her, arms folded, chewing on the edge of a pen cap. "He saw the van," he said. "He clocked it," Ellie corrected. "No panic, no hesitation." "Which means what?" "He's not just a mule," Ellie muttered. "He's a student." Torres leaned in. "Of Martin?" Ellie didn't answer right away. She rewound a frame, froze it on Ethan's face, eyes forward, jaw tight, calculating. "You ever hear about the Barn Street drop?" she asked suddenly. Torres frowned. "The one with the blind tenant?" "Wasn't blind, was Martin." Torres blinked. "Spent 3 weeks shuffling groceries up and down for that woman. Everyone bought it, including me." She smiled, but there was no humor in it. "He got $500,000 out before we even realized the charity was a shell." "And the tenant?" "Still lives there, has no idea." Torres shook his head. "You ever catch him?" She stared at the screen. "Almost," she said, voice sharp. She tapped the edge of the screen once. "He walked past me twice that week. He even held the door for me one night and invited me in for coffee. Had I known it was him, I'd have dragged him to the precinct myself." Torres shifted again. "So what do we do now?" Ellie's eyes didn't leave the screen. "That's simple," she said. Ethan passed the test, but not the one he thought he was taking. And with Ellie closing in, the question isn't whether Martin can stay one move ahead, but whether the game has already begun without him.